Welcome to the last day of 2024. It's Tuesday, December the 31st, 2024. This is the Manna at the Tap podcast provided by Tapestry Ministries, and in it we actively seek the spiritual nourishment our souls crave. Together, we explore one of the daily lectionary readings designed to be the manna which nurtures our spiritual growth and provides the sustenance our souls need. I'm Gloria, a fellow traveler on this spiritual journey, and together we share insights and interpretations from these readings that enrich our spiritual lives. The lectionary reading is from John chapter 8, which continues from John chapter 7, when Jesus' brothers suggested that he go to Jerusalem to attend the Feast of Tabernacles with them. Jesus refused to accompany them and instead went to the feast by himself. The Feast of Tabernacles is also known as the Feast of Shelters. It was instituted by the Lord to commemorate the Exodus when the Israelites were led out of Egypt into the wilderness. The festival was celebrated for 7 days, during which time the people reenacted the events by living in tents or booths made from plant material such as overgrowth or plant leaves. Now, here's the significance of the Feast of Tabernacles. It was for seeing the light stream through the leaves over their heads, reminding them that in the wilderness, the Israelites had the sun's light to guide them during the day and the moon's light, like a fiery pillar, to rest on them when they stopped to sleep at night. Jesus began teaching in the temple toward the end of the festival, and the Pharisees attacked him, wanting to know who he was. At the beginning of John chapter 8, the scribes and the Pharisees tried to distract Jesus from teaching. It was at dawn. When they brought a woman, they said, they caught in adultery, making her stand in the center as they demanded of Jesus an answer to the question of whether they should stone such women. You see, they were trying to trap him so they could have evidence to accuse him. Jesus stooped down and started writing on the ground with his finger. However, they were still waiting for a reaction, and they continued questioning him. He stood up and said, "The one without sin, please be the first to throw a stone at her." After hearing this, they left individually, starting with the older men. The lectionary reading begins at John chapter 8, verse 12, and ends at verse 19. Jesus turned to the crowd gathered around him and said, "I am the light of the world. Anyone who follows me will never walk in darkness, but will have the light of life." This statement irritated the Pharisees, who reacted with hostility. They accused Jesus of testifying about himself, which, according to Moses' law, was invalid. as a matter had to be established by the testimony of 2 or 3 witnesses. In Jewish thought and language, light was associated with God. Let me share with you 2 examples. Psalm 27, verse 1. The Lord is my light. Isaiah chapter 60, verse 19. The Lord will be your everlasting light. Rabbis taught that the name of the Messiah was light. So when Jesus claimed to be the light of the world, he also claimed to be the Messiah. To a Jewish mind, light represented salvation, knowledge, and goodness. So Jesus was saying he was not merely a light, but the light. To follow him meant one may stumble into darkness, but one would never walk in it because light illuminates and uncovers, and the only way to stay in darkness is to avoid the light entirely. In the darkness means not knowing where we are or where we're going. We are walking in the darkness of unbelief. To follow Jesus means to live by faith and believe in his light. When we are in the light, we are no longer blind, but can see. We know where we're going and in whom we have believed. We are in Christ. We are in a covenant relationship with his grace, and we are experiencing God's love. Jesus is the light of the world, and he wants to shine his light in the dark spaces of our lives. And so as we end 2024, why won't you let his light warm and brighten the dark spaces of your life?